Good morning. I thought I would start our week this week sharing the information you all were kind enough to share with me on the getting to know you forms. So I kind of compiled something to kind of put it all together to demonstrate actually a few things that I thought were really interesting. One, I want to start out by saying how all of us are so unique. Every single one of us brings our own experiences to the table, and we all have our preferences, our likes, our dislikes. But all of that being said, having gone through almost 75 of these different forms from all of you, I also want to point out that we all have way more in common than sometimes we even realize. So, as unique as we all are, which is unbelievably wonderful, we yet share so many things that bring us together. So, I know that I asked numerous questions on that form, and I didn't want to take too much of your time today to go over this. So I didn't make a slide for every one of the questions. Um, for instance, your favorite book, there were so many good ones in there, or what makes your day better. Most of those included, you know, loved one in your life, or, let's face it, some of us said money would make our day better. Or what you would do the lottery. I can't believe how incredibly generous and kind all of you were. Most of you thought about doing something for others with that big win if you won the lottery, or the first thing you do in the morning, it's something to do with your kids, or just starting your day, or even the scariest things. Several people have ridden in helicopters, and people just flying in a plane, or having children, maybe scariest thing you've ever done. So I decided to go ahead and use the following questions to kind of share out with you. So, if you could travel anywhere in the world, I loved the responses, made me think of some places I hadn't even thought of. You came up with numerous answers. And I just want you to know more than one person came up with so many of these. I didn't put them in here twice. Disney World came up numerous times. Africa came up numerous times. Dubai came up more than once, which I thought was really interesting. I love the fact that we said states or cities or across the sea, or some person said just to be anywhere in the Gulf, just to be on the water, just to be anywhere. Maybe that's not here. So I don't know about you, but if you look at this list of places that people want to go, or maybe you want to go back to, that wasn't the question, but maybe that was your response. I don't know about you, but there's a couple new places on my list that I would like to travel to. Then I thought about if you could only eat one food. That's really actually a harder question than you think. The question was actually if you could only have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? And the answers were, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how many people said chicken. Some form of chicken, grilled chicken, fried chicken, chicken legs. Um, a lot of seafood up there, crab legs, shrimp, and of course, lobster was mine. I loved water. I thought that was great. Good for you, people that put down fruit and salad. Wow, good for you, healthy eaters. Fewer people, only a couple people down pizza. But I guess if I was asking a bunch of 15-year-olds, that would have probably been most kids and most people's answers. And I love that I got the mac and cheese up there as well. Definitely one of those great foods that just makes you feel better. Then I asked the one thing you look for in a friend, and I want you to notice how few there are on here. And there's a reason for that, because we were all pretty much looking for the same thing in a friend. We want honesty and loyalty and respect, and people that make good decisions, because that's the kind of people we want to be around, and truthfulness and goal oriented. I thought that was a good one, and somebody that's there day and night for you. So yes, there's a lot fewer answers on the screen in front of you, but that's because we all really, really agreed on what it meant to be a good friend. Do you believe in life on other planets? Oh, I love these kind of questions. It was so interesting. About half of you, just slightly more than half of you, 53% said yes. And then 45% of you said no. Now, if you do the math there's a little discrepancy. Those don't add up to 100%. Well, that's because about 2% of you just didn't know. One person, I believe, said, I'd never even thought about it. My next favorite question: if you see a puddle on the ground, what do you do? And your choices were to go around it or over it. Always interesting. Only 23% of you would go over it. Maybe that's because we're not a 5-year-old and we want to stop through it, but you would go over it. Most of us, 75%, are going to go around it. And again, if you do the math, it's just not making 100%. That's why there were a couple of other responses I thought were worthy of noting in particular. One person said, depends on how I'm feeling. I thought that was a great answer. Or somebody said that they would actually clean it up. I thought that was fantastic. I laughed out loud. Another person said, depends on the shoes I'm wearing, which another great answer. If I'm wearing flip flops, maybe I'm not going to care so much. And then finally, somebody said, if I had rain boots on, I'm going right through it. Another great answer. Then I love this one. I always get great answers. Superpower. If you had a superpower, what would it be? I always get interesting ones. And again, remember, a lot of people answered more than one way. So a lot of people said flying. A lot of people said mind reading or invisibility. But there were some interesting new ones that I had never thought of. I like the one that says, I want to freeze things, time travel, healing, blink and go anywhere, make things move. That's a great one. But then I thought regeneration. Some people wanted to bring back loved ones from the afterlife and or to end racism or to end negativity. I thought these were such great responses. I really just wanted to share them with you all. Then your first job, and I asked your age, and I just put up here that most of us, it was between the ages of 14 and 20. That is not to say somebody didn't put 12 or didn't put 22, but generally these were the ages. And for the most part, interestingly enough, but not surprising, we had lots of first jobs in fast food restaurants. Again, more than one person put McDonald's, I promise, and more than one person put Hardee's and White Castle. We also worked at Walmart or Shop and Save. Somebody was a parking dispatcher and worked for park services, daycare. Somebody worked at Comfort Inn or just customer service jobs or catering or dealt with elderly care or youth leaders. I mean, we all come from such different places, but again, look at the similarities that we also share. But where are we going? Why are you back in school? What is your goal, your future job? And I love these two. Registered nurse came up a lot. Something in construction, nail salon. If you think about it, so many things in childcare, automotive, a police officer, something to do with technology and computers, a CNA, pastry chef was in there, phlebotomy, daycare, dental hygienist, entrepreneur, lawyer, author, elderly care, eyelash salon. I thought that one was great. Still deciding. I thought that was fabulous too. Maybe you don't know and you're still thinking about it and weighing your options. And I want to put in there a lot of people. I use the word entrepreneur because that summed up what a lot of people wanted to do. They want to be their own boss. You want to you want to own your own business, your own company. That was in part of so many different answers. So I just wanted to point that out too. And then I left for my last page, my last thing for you to think about. My favorite question of all time is favorite word. And so again, a lot of people said the same word more than once, so I did not put them up here twice, but so you know, I love these responses. If you look across the screen as they come up, every single one of them we can relate to. And even if it was, for instance, shut up. I mean, if that's, some people I say, oh, shut up, which means you might be joking or something like that. Remember, it's the way you say words sometimes too. So I thought this was a super way to end the little presentation, just to remind you again that we all have something unique to bring to the table. We all see and think differently, and yet we all have something in common, actually, so much in common. So I want to thank you guys so much for sharing. I had so much fun, a lot of laughter, a lot of smiling as I read through all of your responses. So, again, thanks for sharing.